Gosia in the show, who is a sound healing practitioner, a yoga teacher. And today we will dive deep into the sound healing. Welcome, Gosia.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming in. I'm super excited to have you on.
Thank you so much for an invitation. I'm really excited to talk about a little bit more about sound healing and vibrational medicine with everyone. So yeah, looking forward to that session.
Yeah, same here. Let the audience explain of what sound healing is.
Sure, of course. So sound healing, it's considered a therapeutic practice that uses specific sounds, frequencies, or vibration towards promoting physical, emotional, and mental healing. So the whole sound healing is based on an idea that the universe and everything in the universe, it's made out of vibration. We all hold certain frequency. The matter is vibrating. So when this natural frequency vibration is distorted, some sort of disharmony is happening or blockages, this is where the illness, the disease is happening. So this might happen because of stress, some emotional trauma, or outside factors. So this is what's causing the imbalances in our frequencies or the vibrations. So the aim of the sound healing is to restore that balance through various using of various instruments, frequencies, and sounds, such as singing bowls, such as gongs, some shamanic instruments, drums, or even our own voices. So this type of practices, they've been implemented throughout centuries in ancient philosophies, in tribes all around the world. So the aim is to restore the balance. I like to think of it as of a kind of a recalibration of our physical, emotional, and mental body.
Yes, I just actually Friday had a sound healing tuning, and it was very interesting.
Oh,
it was
wow.
really cool. Yeah,
Beautiful.
So I totally believe in tuning ourselves, because we can so, on.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like today's reality and today's societies demands from us attention all the time, 24 hours per 7. Like the typical 9 to 5 work days flow is gone with with the growing cultures of like WhatsApp groups, emails, obviously smartphones. We have an access to information and into our work like pretty much all the time, and we don't realize on a daily basis how that incredibly impacts our mind, body, and spirit, and all the emotions that are flying around work and duties and the busy lives. They cause those imbalances, those tensions, blockages in our physical, emotional, and mental bodies. So yes, I'm really happy that sound healing is becoming more and more popular method to restore that balance that luckily doesn't require from us such a great effort and also such a long period of time. So yeah.
Now, can you tell me a little bit of how you started with the sound healing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the music has been present in my life since I was a child. I was always drawn to singing. I used to sing all the time, all day, every day, no matter the circumstances. and it was always bringing me great joy first and foremost. So then as I grew up, became more conscious, I've start noticing how, certain sounds and music impacts my my mood and my well-being, and also what sort of sounds and songs I am singing and producing myself during the certain states of mind. Like, I am prone to sing in a different way when I'm happy, when I'm excited. And I sing in absolutely different way, different melodies when I'm sad, or, more nostalgic or reflection. So music generally has been, as I said, present like most of my life, and the impact of the music. But the sound healing, like a strictly sound healing, appeared in my life approximately 6 years ago, when I've met my dear friend, and later even a mentor, a teacher in sound healing, Alexander Pokorski, who is a sound therapist and an absolute musical virtuoso and music instrumentalist himself. So we happened to meet in London. Funny enough, he was subletting my room when I went off to India to do my first yoga teacher training. And obviously, throughout the conversation, he found out that I'm into music. I'm a singer as well. I've figured out that he makes music. He's very much into synthesizers, electronical instruments. So we've clicked very, very, very fast. So when I came back to London, he presented me with a singing bowl, like a bowl that's known as a Tibetan bowl, a brass bowl. And he was like, oh my God, hold it in your hand and look at that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm holding this lovely bowl in my hand, and he strokes it. And the bowl vibrates on my palm, creating a beautiful sound, but also the vibrations in my body. And the first impression, I felt sick. I was like, oh God, take it away from me. I was like, it's doing something
too much.
Yeah, I was like, it's doing something to my stomach. It irritates me. So yeah, that was my first impression, first kind of like initiation into sound healing and vibration of the bowl. But that intrigued me, and I started reading a little bit more and listening to him, what he has to say about sound healing and the bowls, vibrations, so on and so forth. And I was like, damn, like that has been considered a medicine in an ancient philosophies, wisdoms, and I need to dive deeper into it. So yeah, I've become a friend with that bowl, and start paying a little bit more attention what's happening within me. I've gave it a few more rounds and chances to like kind of resonate in me and within me. I knew I need to keep my head open and my heart open for all sorts of experiences. And yeah, I just kind of like, got the bug, and this is where it started. In the meantime, me and Alex, we started making music together. He introduced me to all sorts of like synthesizers, drum machines, sound synthesis. And by then I was lost. I was like an Alice in Wonderland that's falling into that hole. And, the adventure never ever ends. So yeah, soon after I bought my own set of bowls, got a little bit into all the instruments, like shamanic instruments, drums, chimes, nutshells. And soon after, me and Alex, we've decided that we want to get certified in a Peter Hess method of sound massage. Peter Hess is it's a man that has been traveling through India and Nepal, finding out about the sound healing techniques and qualities, and kind of gather all that wisdom. all he learned and transferred it into our Western world. He brought it back to Europe, and he developed a method in Germany that quickly like spread around the Europe. So I've took on that course, and soon after, just started to implement it in my yoga classes, expanding the knowledge of the instruments, moving to gongs and to crystal balls, a little bit more like a cosmic galactic sounds. And yes, so this is kind of how it started and ventured, and is venturing until today, I guess.
So do you use your voice as well when you are using the sound of healing?
Yes. Now I'm really happy that I've managed to break that ice and start implementing my own voice. I've been pretty hesitant to sing in public. I don't know. There's always that kind of sort of like blockage that we hold in our voice. Obviously, like the fear of being judged, the fear of being like laughed at, or stuff like that. So it took me a little bit of a time, I'm not gonna lie, but as I've been participating in jam sessions with another musicians, I've start opening and like losing this fear of publicly singing. And now I'm happily implementing my voice into the sessions, which always brings such a surprise and joy to participants, that just keep on encouraging me to use it more and more. In the meantime, I start diving into a vibrational medicine through the mantras. So this part of sound healing as well, mantras, which are the sacred words or sentences that hold a certain vibrational energetical charge. So obviously you chant, you sing these words, these sentences, and yeah, it's just extraordinary how they impact myself and the audience that receives it. So definitely, like 8 to 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use my voice to enhance this practice too.
So my question is, would you be able to share your voice at the end with us?
Oh yes, absolutely, happy to do that. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
Same here.
Yeah, I've heard you sing, and you have absolutely beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. Big pleasure of sharing it with the others.
I find a lot of us have, both that chakras, especially a chakra. And I know because I am continue working. It's a never ever ending development, work on yourself and things like that. But I find it too with the people that I'm connected with, that we always, especially with the older generation, feel like always have hard time speaking our own truth, or speaking of what's on our mind, or speaking of what's going on. And that's as well. It's literally speak it.
Yes.
It's like I find myself, both you and I are Polish, and I've been here in Canada for 33 years. And I find, even though I speak the language very well, I understand everything very well, I find myself so in that bubble of, oh my goodness, I will make a mistake and I will not speak certain words certain way. And I had that pivotal moment, I think, about last year, when I'm like, you know what, you have to let go of that idea. You speak well, and if you make a mistake, it's okay.
Yeah.
So when I had that sound healing either Friday or Saturday, it was all about the throat chakra. It was all about releasing whatever was stuck, just going, oh, just let it go. So we were singing. I think I was really in tune to the crystal ball of D. Yes, that deeper voice or deeper sound. That's what was vibrating with me. And oh my goodness, I even recorded because I'm like, I have to have this so I can listen to it. And just when I'm by myself or I'm in the shower or I'm driving in the car, tuning in and just.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's hilarious. Like tone D is one of my very, very favorite tones as well. Like yes, like plenty of my songs are in the D tonation. And the tone D is also associated with the sacral chakra. So very much the house of our feminine energy, our emotional strength, our creativity, sense of pleasure and joy. So yeah, it's a beautiful tone. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you said so far, like about the throat chakra and the blockages. I have an impression, and I mean, it's also like kind of, generally known whenever I'm speaking with practitioners here and there, that women many times have a problem with a throat chakra, with expression. And especially, as you just said, like both of us are Polish. We come from a background, Eastern Europe. I genuinely believe that we still hold some generational traumas. Our mothers, the mothers of our mothers in the certain setups and culture that was present back in the day in Poland, you know, women weren't allowed to speak their truth, really, isn't it? They had to kind of follow the masculine lead. Many times, our grandmothers, grandmothers, they had to stay silent for the sake of the bigger picture, the bigger good. Many times sacrificing on themselves. Suppressing emotions many times happens in the throat chakra or in our bellies. So yeah, this is something that women in general and women in Poland and Eastern Europe have been suffering and struggling with. So definitely, like, releasing our voices, releasing our throats helps us with releasing the traumas and stored emotions in ourselves. And that also many times has to do with the thyroid, the issues with the thyroid. So yes, the sound healing and as well as receiving the vibrations of the healing instruments, as well as actively participating in singing mantras or kirtan practices, is releasing all this. Many times, like the audience, the people that participate in the session, they come to me and they're like, oh my god, I don't know why I'm experiencing this sort of emotions, like I wasn't thinking about even. And I'm like, yes, because you've hidden it so deep inside, either your throat or anywhere in the body, and now you're just letting it go. And by letting go, it means it goes on the surface. You need to process it and then healing it, letting it go. So yeah, the throats are, I would say, like a particularly affected centers, especially for women, from like backgrounds like ours.
No, I understand. Now, what are some common misconceptions about sound healing?
So
what kind of experience have you had with people saying about sound healing? Are they open? Are they think that this is some sort of woo-woo, especially coming again from Poland. Like, I know you don't spend, I mean, you are spending a lot of time in there, but you're traveling a lot all over Europe. But when you go back to your motherland, how do people take that? Are they open? Or?
So luckily, sound healing is gaining more and more popularity. I'm on a daily basis. I'm in London, so people seem to be a little bit more open-minded about the sound healing, the vibrational medicine. In Poland, I would say, quite surprisingly, people are very much open for this practice. Sound baths, I think, are the most popular currently in Poland, and probably in UK, in London as well. So people, as we briefly spoke before, they luckily don't try to overthink and understand that much. They allow themselves to experience. So this is like the most important thing in many holistic practices. So, and if it comes to misconception about sound healing, I think the most common one is that sound healing is just about the relaxation. Okay, I'm gonna rock up to the sound healing session. I'm gonna listen to those beautiful sounds, and I'm gonna become suddenly blissed and happy and relax, and all my problems gonna go away. This is the thing. So while obviously, like, sound healing, it is about relaxation and stress relief, the benefits of the practice go much beyond that, much deeper. So especially in the vibrational medicine, like of sound massages, individual treatments, the sound works on the cellular level. We not necessarily work only with what we hear, but what we've experienced. The same what I've experienced, my first kind of encounter with a singing bowl, the vibration that went through my body, it hits on a cellular level. It goes really, really deep, deeper than, I don't know, the massagist can go with their palms. So we've made kind of like an experiment on the course, on one of the first courses that I've done on sound healing. The teacher placed a ball on the one hand, and then each of us, we've placed palms underneath each other's palms, and then the teacher struck the ball, and the very last person, the very last palm, still could feel the vibrations. So this is what's happening. Like, it's going very, very much deep within on a cellular level. So the misconception is that, another misconception is that it's supposed to be only pleasant experience. So as much as instruments, the sound healing instruments mainly create a pleasant sound, and it's a relaxation session, it's a healing session, which means that whatever we are stuck with, like deep within, the vibration is shaking it out, bringing it on the surface so we can finally process it and get rid of it. That means that many times people might feel agitated, pissed off, nervous, sad. Some people cry during the sessions because they process whatever the vibrations,
emotion is happening, right?
Exactly, whatever it pulled out of the body. And many times people have like no clue what's going on. This is why I always advise them, like, guys, just so you know, this is, as much as it's a relaxation session, it's also a healing session. All sorts of things may happen. So just keep your heads and hearts open for it.
So is this kind of, is this better for an individual who doesn't understand the sound healing because they are so open? But this also could create some sort of barrier because they don't know what sound healing is. And they put these walls up, and then they're like, okay, well, it's not doing anything. So, for example, how would your typical sound healing session look like?
Yeah, so definitely, as you've mentioned, as sound healing gains on popularity, obviously there is a massive marketing side to it. So it's being advertised as an absolute pleasure, shifting the consciousness. So I do have people that come to this session with a certain expectations. So the way I lead my session, so the typical, sound bath, a group session in my case would look like, I would briefly speak to people. What is it about? What's going to happen? That we're gonna find ourselves in a comfortable position. And long story short, we're going to immerse ourselves in sound and vibration of the therapeutic instruments. We will set the certain intention for the practice, either one for all the people that are participating, or I'm going to invite people to set their own intention. And the very first thing I'm going to flag is that, again, as much as it's a relaxation session, 8 times out of 10 it's going to be super pleasant, lovely. People will dive into those states of relaxation. Some people might drift away, fall asleep. Some people might snore. That's absolutely normal. But also some people, as I've mentioned, might feel quite agitated, might feel maybe a little bit even stressed, a little bit nervous. So I kind of, explain to people that all sorts of things may happen and it's absolutely fine. There's no right, no wrong. So the trick is to allow this to come without any hesitation. Keep your head open, keep your heart open, and find yourself in a position of passive observer. Oh, this sound really pissed me off. Huh. Let's just let it be. Let's just observe it without any judgment, any explanation, any, story to it. Let it flow. Let it flow. Like the clouds are passing on the sky. You might, have this aha moment during the session, but you might not really get tuned in at the first time, and that's absolutely fine as well. So so in my session, for me, it's really important to let people know that anything can happen. There's no right, no wrong. I will just ask them to follow the sounds. Like whenever you notice that you start overthinking, go back to the sound. Go back to the sound. This is very important, to drop any expectations and be even ready for, nothing really happened today. I'm gonna just shoot. It's fine. I had one situation like this in one of the London sessions that I've led with a gong. One of the girls approached me after the session. She was like, "Oh my God, I really need to share that with you." I'm like, "Yeah, go on." And she was like, "Do you know, for the first 15, even 20 minutes, so quite a long time of the session, she was like, right, it doesn't necessarily do anything to me. I'm not really tuning into this practice. Frankly, the sounds of the gong are annoying me. It's nothing very pretty and blissful. It's quite agitating. You were going really deep with some sounds." And she couldn't stop thinking about her work. And she said even to me, was like, "Do you know what? I got even annoyed. I was like, I'm wasting my time here. I could be at home cracking on with that work that I'm thinking of." And she was like, "Okay, I'm making the peace with the fact that I'm going to leave in a minute." But she was like, "I want to, wait for the right moment." So she said to herself, "I'm giving myself literally 3-4 minutes more, and then I'm going. And then I'm going to leave." As she said that, a minute or two passed, and she said, then it kicked in. she said to me, I thought, like, if I was about to compare it with something, it was like I've eaten like a magic mushrooms. It was like a psychedelic experience almost. She was like, I've melted into the ground. My head suddenly just like sort of like, melted open, and I became super duper receptive. And she just like flown through that session. And before she realized it was over, I started slowly bringing people back into their bodies, back into the rooms. And she was in a shock. She was in a shock because she came to that session expecting, nice, blissful, angelic,
Or also being resistant, right?
This is the thing. So she was like, oh, this is like not really angelic. This is what like quite intense and deep sounds. And as soon as she just dropped those walls, dropped those expectations, she made the peace with the fact that, okay, this is nothing what I've been thinking it's going to be. I can leave any moment. Surrender. This is where the magic happened. She said she didn't think of anything. Her head was like wide open. Visions, colors, like been, flying around her head. And
so she had good experience then at the end.
Absolutely. She kept on coming back because she kind of known the drill. I was like, oh, this is what is it about. It's not about, being, only in those pretty sounds.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So she was tuning in to certain frequency that was resonating with her.
Yes, absolutely. So what happened essentially is her brain dropped into a deeper, slower brain waves. So on a daily basis, we there are certain brain waves like beta, alpha, theta, delta, now even gamma, so on and so forth. So on a daily basis, we are operating on a beta brain waves, pretty alert, communicating, doing things, active. So when the body relaxes, the mind relaxes, the brain relaxes, it drops to a deeper brain waves, like alpha, for example, which is very much associated with a relaxed but alert state. These brain waves happen when we are just between, being awake and then falling asleep, that brief moment before diving in. So this is what happened with her. Her brain waves got affected by a sound, and she started diving deeper, maybe from the alpha deeper to, like a theta and stuff. This is where the so-called magic happens. This is where our body heals. This is where we restore. So this is what most likely happened for her.
Oh, I love it. This is really good because, people who are resistant, not knowing what to expect and then experience something like this, it brings them to that next level of consciousness in a way, right? Being like, oh my goodness, there's something out there. And it's working for me because everybody will resonate with different things. So I'm super happy for her.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So what's your favorite, say, instrument?
Oh my goodness. So I'm currently madly in love with my crystal singing bowls. I've started my adventure, as I've already mentioned, with so-called Himalayan or Tibetan singing bowls, which are made from a metal, from the brass, or a mix of certain metals. Then
So is there a difference between those different metal balls?
Yes.
They produce different sounds, different keys and things like that, different vibration.
Yes. So basically, if it comes to key, every instrument can be tuned to a certain key. The sound differs a little bit. So the metal, the brass metal Himalayan Tibetan bowls, for me personally, they have a little bit more earthy and grounding kind of sound and vibe, while the crystal singing bowls have a little bit more angelic and cosmic kind of vibe to them. Those are very subtle differences, but as you kind of dive into that whole sound healing story, this is how I perceive them. Yes, and obviously the Himalayan, the metal bowls might be used as much for a group setting as well for the individual massages. So I will use my the set of my therapeutic singing bowls, like the metal ones, for individual massages. I would place them on the particular parts of the body, while the crystal bowls are more for like a soundscapes. So yes, so for the moment, I think crystal balls are, ruling my heart, but the gongs, I think, are the number one. The gongs, they just.
And do you incorporate them both in the sound healing, or do you choose one or the other?
Oh, absolutely. You can mix and match depending on the intention, depending on the intention. So if I would make a longer soundscape, sound bath, I would probably start with more grounding instruments. So some sort of like nutshells, rattles, maybe some drums, some shamanic instruments. Then smoothly moving into Tibetan bowls, and then lifting, like kind of raising the vibrations. I would move to my crystal bowls, and then gongs to kind of like serve a cherry on top of that cosmic cake. But yeah, like some studios, they offer shortened versions of a soundscape. And obviously, like depends on the preference of the audience. Like some people, they love gongs, not much into the bowls. Then other people very much into like a crystal bowls, but gong scares them. So yeah, you can pretty much mix and match depending on the length of the session, the intention of the session, and very much of the mood, of the preference of the clients as well.
When I was having my session, I remember she was using the Tibetan, well, with the crystal bowl, it was the D, but with the Tibetan bowls, I felt the vibration right in my sacral. Oh my goodness, it was like pulling me, and it was just incredible experience. I loved every minute of it. So definitely incorporating that in my personal life. It's 100% in.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, that D note doing the magic for the sacral chakra. Yes.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone new to the sound healing?
Oh, definitely the first advice I am giving to people, and I would give to people, is approach the session with an open mind and open heart. Expect nothing, and just allow yourself to surrender into the sound, no matter what sort of emotions they are evoking in you. So yeah, the magic happens as soon as you surrender. Don't get attached to
it. That's right.
Yeah.
Let it be and listen. I think that's the important part of it.
100%. So like finding yourselves in that position of passive observer, like almost like you're watching the movie from your emotions, and just trust the process. Just take that leap of faith that's been, these practices been incorporated by the most enlightened and wisest minds in the humankind thousands and thousands years ago. You don't necessarily have to understand that, feel that. Don't try to, like nowadays, obviously we operate in our logic mind so much that, you know, we need scientific proofs and, you know, answers. Give me the answers. How does that work? Like, luckily, you know, now modern science dives deeper into the power of sounds and frequencies. But don't worry about that too much. Open your heart. Allow yourself to melt and be healed by the frequencies.
Yes. Yes, I totally get it. I understand it because I went through it. I wouldn't say I was resistant. I'm very open to new things, and I also suggest to anybody who has not tried it to at least try it once and like being open.
Exactly.
So now this will bring me to a question. How can listeners incorporate the sound healing into their own, let's say, practice at home? What would you suggest for them to do, or where can they start?
Mm-hmm. So we are lucky enough to live in a times where all sorts of like practices, holistic practices, including the sound healing, is pretty much accessible. Obviously, like through internet, all sorts of platforms. Like YouTube is absolutely full of all sorts of, like, you know, sound healing audios, videos, solfeggio frequencies. You can literally just, you know, go to the YouTube and type I don't know, sound bath for stress relief, sound bath for transformation, for self-esteem. You will find plenty of beautiful recorded sound baths that you can make use of. As well, you know, plenty of platforms, of applications, like very popular in US, Insight Timer, amazing application in which I public my work as well. From
that's good to know, because I have it, so I will look for you for sure.
Brilliant. Yes, 100%. So yes, all sorts of online resources as well as offline resources. Go to the nature, tune into the sound of the nature, listen to the birds, listen to the sound of the wind on the tree, listen to the sound of the river, like connecting to the elements and frequencies of the elements and sound of the elements is definitely beautiful way to incorporate the sound healing in your daily practice. And the most important, your own voice. Each one of us has been gifted with such a powerful instrument like our voice. Go somewhere where no one can hear you. Shout the heart out of yourself. Sing the heart of yourself. Go have a warm shower. Sing your heart out. This experience is so powerful. So powerful way of a sound healing, the sound of your own voice, as well as I've already mentioned, mantra meditation, something that I'm going like recently really deep into it. Plenty of resources in the internet. Great books that I'm gonna definitely recommend you as well, and practitioners like Dr. Kurlit Chaudhry, that I am fascinated of her work. She's kind of introducing the science of mantras, so those particular sounds of the words that hold that charge. We can do it anywhere for, you know, as short as 5, 10, 15 minutes. And yeah, definitely staying consistent with it. Like, the problem of our days and our times is we want a magic pill for everything, you know, like we are used to, oh, I have a headache, okay, I'm gonna smack a few pills of ibuprofen, my problem is going to be sorted. That's not necessarily the case with the sound healing. I mean, like, there are cases, and it's quite common to feel better after the one session, but the magic starts when you allow yourself for a consecutive, consistent practice. So definitely like saving, like start off with even 5-10 minutes a day to either, allow yourself to even listen to the sound of your voice, or listening to the recording of mantras or sound baths online on the internet, or as I've mentioned, go for the walk, go into nature and just tune into the sound of the birds or the elements around you.
Yeah. My favorite thing is being in the car by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just let go.
Exactly.
Either I sing and I don't care what I sing, my words just come out. I'm like, well, no one's in the car. I just dropped off the kids at school and I just let go of that. That was my thing for the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but there's moments where I feel my body is vibrating and I'm like, okay, just let go.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever it is, whatever it's holding me, let go.
Yeah.
And it's a really great way to release that emotion or release that tension that's in the body.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, the power of expression, it's like very, cathartic, like purging, like throwing these things out, and in whatever manner, like it doesn't always have to be blissful, beautiful, and positive.
Oh, of course.
We are built.
Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it's messy. They say, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Allow yourself to be angry, to be pissed off. Throw that away. This is a sound healing too. Like, this is something that we need to remember, that it's not always like pretty and glamorous. It's
Well, you're releasing that tension. You're releasing that stagnant energy, right? Which energy again is vibration, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's like, let go of that, whatever that is. Either it's screaming, yelling, whatever it is, just release it.
Absolutely, yes.
So how do you see the future of sound healing evolving within the wellness communities that are starting almost all around the world right now?
So,
and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so happy this happening.
Yes.
It makes my body so happy.
Absolutely. Like, I couldn't be, happier and thrilled enough for the fact that sound healing now gains the popularity. So, the future of sound healing looks incredibly promising. Not nowadays, like more and more yoga studios, like they are implementing classes and sound healing sessions. Like the studios that I teach for in London, there's not a single studio that doesn't have a sound bath now. Every single studio has a sound bath. They understand the importance of this practice to the point that they organize courses, they invite mentors to teach their instructors. They buy instruments because this is like not the cheapest thing as well. So they are creating that space for the practitioners, being like, hey guys, we need to do this. So and not only yoga studios, the gyms, corporate environments, they invest more and more into like incorporating these sessions for their workers, for their employees, which is absolutely great. So more it's happening, more people talk about it, more accessible it is, and more acceptable it is, not only as a woo-woo spiritual thing, but as an actual treatment, as an actual science. Like I happen to work in a care home back in the day as an activity coordinator, and we used to have sound therapy sessions. So not exactly what I'm working with, like a frequencies and sounds, but a certain songs that were bringing certain memories from the youth of the residents, creating certain emotions, like people recognize that is going more forward, and yeah, it's just becoming more common, and as I said, like acceptable.
Yes, it's a new way of incorporating different things into your life, and like you and I spoke before recording, that there's definitely a huge shift happening in the humanity itself. So incorporating the sound is definitely one of those modalities where we can expand ourselves, expand our consciousness, and, as you said earlier, healing.
Yes, definitely. And like as the popularity of this practices rises, there will be likely more, even more scientific researches. More and more universities will start getting involved to to get more understanding and proofs as well for these practices to be bringing a difference, making an impact, like to actually working. As I said before, like we do live in a very logic world, and I think it is like I consider myself like quite down to earth person. So I think this is more this is really important, that the more studies is being conducted, so for the remaining part of the people that's being like, oh, this is nonsense, okay, read this study, this and this and this has been proven, to kind of like change people's mind, even though even those of the people that haven't yet opened their minds and hearts to the experience, rather than processing like in a logical way. So yeah, I'm really really like excited, and I'm really really looking forward where the future is going to get us with this subject.
So in your practice, do you actually have people older coming into the session, or is it all the younger generations who are a little bit more open than the older generation is?
So for this type of sessions, people from all walks of life are coming into those kind of sessions. Honestly, doesn't matter, young, old, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's been definitely more popular within women, but I'm really, really happy to see more and more guys coming into these sessions. Bless them, they are many times quite intimidated, but like as soon as I'm taking them under my wing and explaining what we will be doing here, yeah, people are getting like more comfortable, and they keep on coming back, because as I said, like the beautiful benefits are appearing like from the first sessions, really. Those are many times very like busy and stressed people, especially like if it comes to men, there is such a big pressure on from society,
Yes.
from them as well.
Right.
They always need to be exactly
Right.
on top, never fear anything. And it's beautiful that these sessions are the spaces to be vulnerable, like well, when I see some guys like just very like hiding themselves, like wiping their eyes, I'm like, oh, this is normal. Like you're not the first person that let a tear go,
Right.
so yeah, just normalizing that environment. And more people comes, as I said, from all walks of life, all sorts of backgrounds.
Yeah, I'm super happy to hear that, because I think once people tap into that, I don't want to say form of life, but way of living, for example, or incorporating these things into their lives are going to be so much better on the long run. And passing on that information into the next generation, same thing. It's so important.
This is the thing. This is kind of like, this is how we can change the world, make it a better place, starting from yourself, from within. You experience those benefits and those changes within you, then you radiate it to others, and this is how the change is happening.
It is happening, as we can see it around the world right now. So
yes, definitely.
So Gosia, I am so looking forward for your little performance.
Perfect.
The stage is yours.
Lovely, beautiful. Let me get my little helper. That it's a kind of like a nutshell instrument. One of my very, very favorite tools to work with. Quite a little instrument, but creates that lovely rivery, watery.
Is that a shamanic?
Yes. This is considered a shamanic instrument. That's correct.
Yes. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, is it? Beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Lovely. So I'm just going to invite you to take a moment to relax and dive into the sounds. Allow yourself to immerse into the sounds. Om Shri Danvanti Nama Om Shri Danvanti Nama Om Shri Danvanti Nama Om Shri Danvantri 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 Nama
This was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much. A big, big pleasure to share it with you. This mantra, Dhanvantri mantra, is considered one of the main healing mantras in the Indian philosophy, in the Vedic traditions. Chanting this mantra balances the body, promotes health, and also if we bring an intention to another person, it promotes other person's physical, emotional, and mental wealth healing, promotes the healing of that person. So yeah, it was a big pleasure sharing it with you and with an audience.
Thank you. So now, how can people reach you? And my other question would be quickly, do you offer your classes online as well?
So for the moment, I predominantly offer my classes in person. However, I am open to creating sessions online. On the already mentioned app Inside Timer, you can find me after my name and my surname, Madrzak. So this is where I am publishing my recordings. However, the app also now offers the opportunity to do the live events. So this is the next stage of connecting with people, with my audience. This is something I'm going to do. I'm also sharing the practices on my Instagram, Cavendish Yoga Girl. So this is always, yes, this is also a beautiful way to connect with me. So I'm posting all sorts of, different information about the sound healing in general, but I'm also doing like a live session in which I am going to do like either quick or longer sound bath or some mantra meditation, also singing mantras. Yeah, so those are the ways to connect with me, to ask me any questions, and yeah.
Perfect. So what I will do, I will definitely post any kind of information that you have at the end of the notes, so people can have easy access to reach. Gosia, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this beautiful information regarding sound healing. I think, again, from the bottom of my heart, that people start looking into these other modalities that are out there, which is these sound healing / frequencies, because once we are in tune with our bodies and in our minds, we, like we talked earlier, get to the point of healing, which is so important.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much for an invite. It was an absolute pleasure to share that passion and whatever knowledge I have with you and with the audience. And yes, like I'm really, really happy, to contribute to spreading that awareness, that conscience about the incredible power of sound healing, and the fact that it's not something, reserved for elites or certain, groups of people. It's available for all of us. Like, all we really need is it's a desire to open our heads, open our hearts, and just allow ourselves to experience, to believe and experience in that healing sound of this practice. So yeah, thank you very, very much. I'm really, really happy that I was able to share it with you guys.
Thank you so much. Dziękuję bardzo.
Dzięki wielkie, Ola. Thank you so much.
No, tak.